Today we will hear from Black Americans, this time correcting an angry black man who says foundational Black Americans are operating like a white supremacist group. Check it out.
Foundational Black Americans are not the same as African Americans, and they hate the term African American. Foundational Black Americans are extremely anti-immigrant. It's very weird. Like, they have this somewhat not necessarily pro-white, even though a lot of their beliefs do co-sign white supremacist beliefs, but they're not necessarily like pro-white America, but they are pro-American, but just Black Americans, just people who are descendants of formerly enslaved people in America. They, again, have, say, this large anti-immigrant, anti-anything non-Black American culture. Anytime you use the term African American, or you give an opinion on FBAs that they don't like, they will try to accuse you of not being from America. Ever since I've been called East African 1,000 times. 1,000 times. Foundational Black Americans I swear that they are a CIA operation. They are a group of hyper-ignorant, low-educated Black folks. Some of them are pretendians, like, the whole people who are like, oh, Black people were here before Native Americans. Some of them are like that, walking around looking crazy. Mind you, there are Black people who have plenty of Native heritage, but a lot of them, they're not those people. The thing that really makes my ass itch about FBAs is that they're just as hateful as like white supremacists. They have the same like anti-immigrant, like xenophobic, disgusting rhetoric that you hear from racist white folks.
I probably already made a video like this, but I'm gonna say it again. Look, if you are FBA, if you are Black American, if you are ADOS, if you are Black American, whatever term you call yourself, and your family was here in the Americas for hundreds since before America was America, I'm talking to you. When you say you don't like FBA, you are saying you don't like yourself. I can understand if you don't want to adopt the term. That's cool. You want to stick to what you want to stick to, fine. There's a reason why we are leaning towards that term. Does that mean that everybody, even just as if we just stick with Black Americans, does that mean everybody who's Black American is gang, is family, is going to be on the same page? No. So all these little think pieces of, oh, I don't like FBAs because they be talking about this. I heard somebody the other day say, I don't like FBAs because, the men be saying basically some red pill. The FBA don't have nothing to do with no red pill. FBA has everything to do with just our lineage and preserving Black American culture. Period. That's it. Whatever little spats we got with inside the family and group, we can deal with that. I'm not saying we ain't got to deal with that. That's the basis of it. I don't know why y'all are making this more complicated than it got to be, because y'all come across a couple of fools. And anybody else outside of FBA, who gives a f-? Who cares? I don't give a fuck about what anybody outside of FBA have to fucking say. I don't care about the fact they don't like the term. It's the equivalent of me saying, oh, I don't like the Chinese. The fuck? I might have issues, but I don't got time. I don't care. Don't care about anybody. I don't care about nothing that have to do with me. That's their own issue. They want to hate some shit that don't got shit to do with them. Let them waste their energy. Because we don't care. Truthfully, we don't care. Truly. But if you are unfit under that umbrella, please knock it the fuck off. And I understand a lot of y'all are still all skin folk ain't kinfolk. That's just the truth. Again, everybody is not going to be on the same page and on board. And trust me, a lot of people are going to get on board at the last minute. That's usually how it happens when shit is just so obvious. It's obvious now. But sometimes motherfuckers got to just color. Oh, they just got to really get the whole picture. Because they don't have any understanding.
FBA is a hate group. I've been saying that a lot lately. I made plenty of videos about us not being a hate group. And let me say it once again. Everybody that's FBA, I don't rock with them. Everybody FBA, I wouldn't hang with them. Everybody that's FBA, some of them, I would charge them white them. I would send them to jail. So the the one thing we do have in common is we have lineage on this land. That's all it's about, a lineage. That's it. It's not a group. It's not a group. It's not. And you don't have to call yourself FBA. You can call yourself Black American, Solani, Native American, whatever you want to call yourself. But the people that call them, that just represent FBA, you know, okay, we're not a hate group. Okay? It's just a lot of people in their feelings that FBA is making noise. You know what I'm saying? They making noise. It's getting towards the mainstream now. You know what I'm saying? You hear mainstream media mention this now. You know, we trying to separate ourselves from the word African American. That's all. That's all. We just want to take African off. That's all we trying to do, people. What's wrong with that? That's one of the things we talk about. We want to take the African off. Then people say, well, y'all don't want to claim African. Once again, I don't know nobody in Africa, bro. That's in my family. I don't. I do not know anybody anywhere that's African in my family. Even with my family tree shirts, there's no Umbute, no Zimbubu, no Kunta on my family tree list. It's just not. I'm sorry, it's not. When we go to funerals and everybody come and see Big Mama pass away or Big Daddy pass away, when you look at the list, there's no African names that's on the family side. There's not. So just because people don't want to be called African, that's fine. And there are some FBAs that don't mind being called African. That's fine. But then the other side, what y'all done did, y'all done threw the black natives under the bus. Y'all threw the Native Americans under the bus. Say they hateful. Saying that they the people, my black indigenous people, you know, the black Indians, the people that's putting it down out here. Now listen, y'all say they hateful. How are they hateful when y'all keep calling them pretendians? See, y'all like to call people names, but when people fire off, y'all want to tuck your tail and hide. Stop that, man. Stop that. Listen, man, because you can't beat us with words. You can't beat us intellectually. You can't beat us with the jokes. Then you combine that together, I know it hurts. And some of these people are black Americans that's saying this too. They call them the BANs. They saying we the reason why the diaspora can't come together. All that stuff. And my thing is, I'm 42 years old. I'm trying to think, like, when the diaspora ever trying to link with us? We always put ourselves in the forefront to link up with the diaspora. The diaspora collectively never try to rock with us unless we got some money for them. Yeah. So we ain't no hate group. Calm down, people.
Even though a lot of their beliefs do co-sign white supremacist beliefs, but they're not necessarily like pro-white America, but they are pro-American, but just black Americans, just people who are descendants of formerly enslaved people in America.
I need y'all to understand something, right? When people label themselves black Americans, it's not because they are like trying to say, oh, we're not Africans. That's impossible for us to say that there's no African like DNA in us. But how many generations have to be born in a specific location for those people to be considered native to that land? Because y'all are acting like we just got here like 3 generations ago. Black foundational Americans have been here since the 1600s. That's between 13 to 17 generations. And what about the fact that some BFAs have like indigenous roots as well? Because we did not just stick to ourselves and just like decided like whatever, like, you know, we congregated with indigenous people from this land as well. Like, this is all part of our history. There's like the fact that we have a history of our people and our background should tell you enough that we are not we are not Africans. We cannot go to Africa and like trace down family members over there. Who? How? Like, even if we could, we can't, because our people have been, the people who were in Africa originally that we came from, they have been lost through time. We can't do that. Like, we don't have no great-great-great-grandmother who was in Nigeria. Like, what are we talking about? They were in Alabama. They were in Georgia. Like, why is that so hard for y'all to understand? And then to say that we are white supremacists because we are acknowledging that we are Americans.
I get comments like this a lot from people who have flags in their bios in addition to an American flag. So what you're saying is that we are all black people. If we are all black people under the umbrella of Black American, then why do you have these different flags in your bio? Because you are also wanting to attach yourself to the identity and culture of these different countries, right? I need y'all to understand that what these people that are clinging or not clinging, that are being drawn to the FBA movement, they are doing the same thing. They are essentially putting a flag in their bio and wanting to attach themselves to the history, culture of this ethnic group, which sometimes gets lost under the umbrella of blackness in America. America was like, okay, y'all all black. Okay, we have new immigrants, y'all all black. And what you see are black people who are the descendants of enslaved people trying to point out that distinction. I hope that makes sense. But whenever, I kid you not, it's always people that have flags in their bios that are saying this. And I'm like, you have so much pride in your country of origin, your ethnic group. Why don't you understand that that is at the heart of what these people are talking about? And so I always caution people from being too dismissive of this movement, because a core piece of this movement, the xenophobia, immigration aside, is wanting to highlight and show pride in the Black American ethnic group. And I think some people that have come here in later generations, they feel frustrated because they feel like they are a part of that as well. And they are. I'm not saying they're not. But you have to recognize this distinction, this history. There's a portion of history in America that is not shared amongst all black people. We have to acknowledge that. There's a portion of history that's not shared amongst all black people. However, you come here and oftentimes you carry the weight of that history, even if you just got here, because America doesn't always make those distinctions. They're just learning them, as we see in the Tucker Carlson video, which is dangerous. But again, I need you all to understand the same pride that you have that leads you to put this flag in your bio, that is what they're seeking. And they want the same kind of respect for that. And so y'all get a little too comfortable in my comments. Like, I'm like, wait a minute now. I don't think it's always fair to have these broad strokes about this movement. I mean, I said it at brunch today with one of my friends who's from Louisiana, and she's like, listen, I'm a proud foundational Black American. She's not going to sit up here and say xenophobic things or anything like that. That's not her thing. But she aligns with that because of the rooted history that she has in this country. And I think that when y'all make comments like this, you're dismissing that part, which is so important. So important.
So although being a foundational Black American in and of itself is not an ideology, it's not a social or political movement in and of itself. However, it is tied to some recent social and political movements. Most notably, a lot of people are focusing on reparations for our people. A lot of people are tracing their ancestry and finding out what indigenous tribes they're from. So although it's not a social and political movement, it is tied to some social and political movements, to be clear.
When we say foundational Black Americans, we're talking about us, our lineage, our bloodline, our history rooted right here in America through slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, and everything that came after. We are not just another group in the melting pot. We are the foundation. Everything that exists in this country, economically, culturally, politically, has our fingerprints on it. And for generations, we've been told to just blend in, to see everybody as the same, to ignore the fact that our specific history is different. But now, we're waking up, and that awakening is long overdue. For too long, our struggles have been grouped together with everybody else under this broad label of Black. And while that sounds good on the surface, what it's done in reality is erase our specific claim. Because not everybody who is Black in America shares the same history as us. Not everybody went through what our ancestors went through on this soil. And that matters, Because when it comes to policies, resources, opportunities, if you don't define who the people are, then the benefits don't reach the people they were meant for. That's why this conversation is needed now more than ever. We're in a time where people are talking about reparations, equity, opportunity, but at the same time, we're seeing our identity being blurred. And when your identity is blurred, your claim gets weakened. So now, as we start defining ourselves, as we start saying, no, we are foundational Black Americans, it's making some people uncomfortable, especially some immigrants. Let's be real about it. For a long time, there was this unspoken assumption that all Black people in America were one and the same. And because of that, some people were able to come into spaces built off our struggle, benefit from systems influenced by our fight, and move within an identity that wasn't rooted in the same historical experience. But now that we're drawing a line, now that we're saying, hold on, there's a difference, it's being seen as division. But it's not division to define yourself. It's not hate to say, this is ours. Every other group in America does it, every single one. The difference is, we were taught not to. We were taught that everybody Black is automatically our ally, our brother, our sister. We were raised on that idea, that Pan-African mindset. But if we're honest, that hasn't worked the way we were told it would, because unity only works when it's mutual. And what we're seeing now is that not everybody sees us the way we were taught to see them. That's a hard truth, but it's a necessary one. And this is why we have to shift our focus. Instead of looking outward for validation, for alliance, for support, we need to look inward. We need to build our communities. We need to strengthen our families. We need to invest in our businesses. We need to educate our people, especially the ones who are still confused, still thinking in that old mindset that everybody moves the same, thinks the same, and has our best interest at heart. Because that confusion is holding us back. There are people among us who don't even realize who we are, who don't understand our history deeply enough to see why this distinction matters. And if we don't correct that, nobody else will. This is not about hate. This is about clarity. This is about survival. This is about making sure that the people who paid the price are the people who receive the benefits. And moving forward, we have to be strategic. We can't afford to move off emotion alone. We can't afford to just react. We have to build, organize, and think long-term. Because the reality is, no one is coming to save us. And maybe that's the biggest realization of all. But instead of seeing that as a negative, we should see it as power. Because if we built this country under oppression, imagine what we can build with focus, unity, and intention. This is a new day. Tell me what you think about this topic. Hope you find the information in this video informative. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. Thanks for watching.